everyone, it's Melly Starz, and we're back with another episode of Melly's Couch. And you'll never believe who I got to come to the couch. He's a MC, freestyler slash battle rapper, hip-hop curator, and a former DJ. SamIAm the MC.
Hey, what's up? How you doing? Good.
I am so excited to have you on the couch.
Thank you.
So I want to start first. I want to know if you remember this line that you said. Bubblegum, yum, yum, yum. When my stomach hurts, I eat Tums.
Yeah, so that was my my very first rhyme that I ever wrote. I was in kindergarten, and the teacher was like, "Hey, let's do a talent show." So I was like, "I'm going to write a rap, right?" So I came up with that because I always saw the commercial Tums, you know, with the antacid or whatever. And I went home and I told my mom about it, and she got me a 70-page notebook, like an empty notebook.
Yeah.
And I filled it up, and I just never stopped. So that was back in like the late 80s or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was like, I wanted to see if you would remember what you were doing in elementary school.
Oh, yes.
That's the beginning of your
That's
career.
Where it all started. That rhyme right there, started my journey.
And you started making tapes in elementary school as well.
Correct.
So how was the process different then to now recording music now? Because times have changed. You've kind of seen the whole evolution of technology and everything.
Right. So with my father, he worked for the CTA, but he was also a DJ as well.
Yeah, he DJ'd.
So in the basement, which was the laundry room, right? You know what I'm saying? So I was able to get the records, and and then he had a dual cassette. So basically, you put on the record, and then you record yourself in one full take. Whatever. And so that's what I would do is I would find breaks in the beat, or put on the instrumental, and then I would start recording myself. That was back in '92, and then that's kind of how I started freestyling as well, because instead of me messing up, then I would improvise a line. So when I play the tape back, I'm like, oh, okay. And then when it really became a phenomenon as far as the freestyle, I was kind of ahead of the game. But that's essentially how it started. And then in 2001, I graduated to recording in a studio where you can punch in and you can do overdubs and ad-libs. Whereas when I was doing it, it was just this is one take, this is what it is. There was an ad-lib, it was me trying to fake it yo, you know what I mean? So, but I was appreciative of all of those things. And the basement, that's where I, transformed into not only an MC, but the DJ as well. So all of that kind of immersed in itself.
Yeah, came together. Mm-hmm. Do you think that since now we have all of this more technology where you can punch in and you can do you think that kind of almost loses some of the original art form to it, or affects it maybe?
That's a good question. I personally don't think so, but it does make me curious for the generation that never necessarily had to experience doing it the way that that we had to. But I don't think so. Okay. I don't think so.
Yeah, because sometimes technology is great, but then also there's pros and cons to everything,
It is. I think the fact that, and I kind of talk about this in my song Gutter, I say, these kids, they be fronting because everything's at a click of a button.
Yeah.
And we taking it back to the grassroots. And I think just sometimes, with the internet, it allows you to skip steps.
Yes.
And I think maybe that aspect, so that's why a lot of times we feel that certain music is more microwavable than the full course meal. So in that aspect, I can see that. But then also too, the benefits are being able to make something and it gets directly to the consumer. There's a whole process before releasing a record and press releases. That was just hit upload. That's it.
When you first started, you had many different names, including Sammy D.
Oh yes,
because you were you were influenced by Heavy D.
Yes.
You also had Run DMC, LL Cool J, Slick Rick, and you also, after Sammy D, you went by Lyrical Assassin.
Yes.
So was it kind of hard finding your identity with a name?
So the funny thing is, so basically with Sammy D, when I first started rapping, my dad, he would only let us listen to rappers that didn't use profanity.
Yeah.
Right? So that's where Heavy D came in. But with every basement tape, I was kind of more inspired by another rapper, you know, so that's why when you talk about the LLs and the Slick Ricks and the Rakims, those were the MCs that I was influenced by early on. So, you know, maybe the first couple of tapes that I made, you know, it might have been more Heavy D influence, and then it was more LL influence and Slick Rick influence. So, you know, so then by the time I got to like 94, 95, it was Lyrical Assassin because I felt like I was, you know, at that point, you know. But Sammy D, I was like a novice, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I think that's just kind of how it was. But my DJ name was DJ SamIAm, right?
Yeah,
so,
that's what I was going to get into.
Yeah, so there you go. There you go. Okay, she's on it. She's on it.
See, I was going to say, you know, SamIAm was originally your DJ name.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. So that's like a fun, a Snapple fact for you.
Yeah. So when you were a DJ, you DJ'd at the Kenwood Homecoming?
Yes. Kenwood Homecomings, Morgan Park, Whitney Young. I was definitely well known on the high school circuit, and you know, I was inspired by people like DJ Clue, Tony Touch. You know, I was a dude making the mixtapes and doing the shout outs like, "Hey, yo, shouts out to Morgan Park." You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, everybody in homeroom. You know, that was me. That was that dude.
Definitely,
that was definitely that guy.
And then there was also, when you were at Kenwood, you did a talent show as a b-boy.
Yes. So I was freestyling on stage at first, right? And I guess the crowd, they were just kind of like doing whatever. So I was like, you know, I'm about to start breakdancing. So I just got my little school cap and just started doing. I ended up winning. So, you know.
And then you did something like a trick on your head or something. I think
I saw. I was the head spin master back in the day. And you know, so that was my key to fame. That Swipes, Hollow Bridges, you know, and being a part of S.A.K crew, which represents Stars Are Kings.
Stars Are Kings, yes.
That's right.
That was the next point. You were part of the breakdancing crew.
Yes. So, I mean, when I was coming up, it was implanted and ingrained in me, rather, to, you know, just to try all the elements, you know, and even if it doesn't necessarily work out for you, but with the rapping, the breaking, the DJ, and the graffiti, the knowledge of the elements, you know, see what works best for you, you know. I mean, in my younger years, it was more so about the breaking, the DJing, you know, the graffiti, and then as you get up in age and don't get as limber as you used to be, you know, you can focus on more things like that you want to narrow in on. And so for that's why the rapping kind of like superseded everything.
Yeah, because there's 5 elements, and then you did B-boy, MC, DJ, graffiti. What was the 5th one?
The 5th one is just the knowledge of the elements.
Oh, okay. Because I was trying to find it, and I was like, I don't know what the 5th was. So you have all 5 elements.
Yeah.
Or you've touched base on at some point. You also mentioned somewhere that for the S.A.K crew, you had to like do something to like get in.
Oh yeah.
So like, what did you have to like prove yourself? I guess.
Yeah.
So what did you have to do?
Yeah, we all had our different forms of initiation. So they would take us to like different neighborhoods, and we battled, you know, different gang members, and you know, it was just kind of different back then.
It was a different era.
It was definitely a different era. You know, we walked, you know, 2-3 miles bombing. You know, you had to go on a cypher at Navy Pier and do something, but it wasn't just like, hey, you know what, you look hip hop, you can be in our crew. It's like, no, you have to really put in that work.
Yeah. And then, so how many members are there? Because I feel like it's pretty like big.
Yeah, it's pretty big. I would say we're kind of like spread out all over the world. Okay. I'd say maybe about 100 or so. That's a lot of us.
That's a lot of people. That's a lot. So I want to talk about Domino Effect, which is part of the S.A.K crew. With Levi Stress and Queen Zenobia. You perform this pretty often.
Yes,
I actually saw you perform this at Cataclysm.
Back in
March. Yes, I was there on media, so we didn't interact, but you know, I did, and I was like, whoa. I'm like, what is SamIAm even doing here? Why am I in the same room with him right now? Where's the music video? Because I think you were recently filming this at Subt.
So it's in the works. My boy Cortez of Go So Shy, he filmed a video, and he's in the process of mixing that. With Domino Effect, which was produced by my guy Core Rocker, me and Levi Stress, it was a freestyle that we did first. And so once that got some steam and some recognition or whatever, Queen Zenobia, who's also in S.A.K, we were like, let's do a remix of it, you know. And so then the remix got even bigger.
Yeah.
So we were like, man, let's go ahead and shoot a video. And then that's kind of how the video. So, you know, for people who are like really looking for it, you can, you know, see the original version, which is all off the top. And then the second version, we kind of refurbished it and put in, and then I put in our, you know, our slogan, our chant, S to the A to the K, you know, and that's kind of like, that's what I wanted to do with that version, is kind of like crystallize what we did the first time.
Yeah. I think I might make a cameo in this. Because this was I think this was
Subt T.
Subt T. Yeah. So I might be in the back of that music video.
All right, Cortez, make sure she's in edits. All right.
Please. Subt T is like a major influence, like a very like a significant location for you, and well, like all of hip hop in Chicago, really.
Absolutely.
You represent Subt T to the max. To the max.
Thank you. No doubt.
So you did. Well, Domino Effect wasn't the only video you did there. You also did Rep Where You From with Prism, which is Puerto Rican.
Yeah, Puerto Ricanism. Yes,
okay.
yes, indeed.
I was so nervous to say that.
Yeah, Puerto Ricanism. Yeah, no doubt.
And then I think I read somewhere that you guys have been like rocking with each other for like 2 decades.
Oh yeah. I've been knowing him for you know, quite a long time. So once I first got on the Wicked Part 21 and Overseen, he was one of the first MCs that I ran into. And there was a spot called Flatiron, which before that it was called Blue Note, and he used to host open mics with my guy Larry Miller and Shadow Master MC, who's currently hosting there.
Yeah.
And you know, they are really like the pioneers of freestyling and asking you questions, and you have to respond in a freestyle manner in 4 bars. So it'd be like, where you at, kid? Hey, yo, I'm at Subterranean. You know what I mean? So that's how we got.
I did pick up on that.
Yeah, so that's how we got our bond. And with Puerto Ricanism, we've been working with each other for a long time. And I was telling him I was trying to start my new label called Thunderground.
You know, we're gonna get in depth about that later.
Yeah. And so that's kind of like the lead video for that. And then we figured, since we don't consider ourselves old school or new school, we consider ourselves true school, right in the middle.
Oh, true school. I like that.
So yeah, between that like 80s, mid 90s pocket is what I consider the true school. So pretty much once we did that, you know, the video has been doing pretty well, and it's actually hip house, that song. Yeah. So it's hip hop and hip house, you know, so we wanted to kind of like a throwback, kind of like a version of Planet Rock. You know?
Yeah. I like the video too because, well, even like the song, because in the little intro was like, oh, I heard SamIAM supposed to be performing tonight.
Yeah. We wanted to set it up like,
it was really
like it's like going to the club.
Like, we heard
SamIAM was gonna be up here.
Like, it's very much like, I know somebody there, like, you know. So I really like that. That was really cool.
Oh, thank you.
Subt T, you also do the 606 open mics, which is Chicago's longest running hip hop open mic since 1998.
Yes. It's amazing to just even be a part of that. I mean, they've been going on, like you said, since 98.
Yeah.
So I've been supporting for, 20 years. And, just to have it every Tuesday and to be able to refine my skills, I feel like that was like a major part of my development.
Yeah. So December 2015, you were doing like I think one of these open mics, I believe. And then you had to rap about random objects that people would hold up.
Yes. So once you get to a certain level of freestyle, anytime I go there and freestyle, that's what happens.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I saw other videos where you just kind of started doing this as well. Like I was like, bro, like
like when I first started kind of because freestyle is kind of a spiritual thing to me. So when I was younger, I used to freestyle with my eyes closed like this, like but then people were like, hold on, you're not really freestyle, because they're holding stuff up, but little do they know I'm just trying to vibe, you know what I mean? So now I have to go like looking for what people
like what's coming next. Okay, so it's a little bit of a different,
because they're like, oh, Sam's coming up, and before I even start rapping, I'm like, come on, bro.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, do people are they ready? Like
they're ready. So and that's okay.
And I gotta make sure that I bring something really cool to the next time I'm at a show.
It's expected. So
I'm just gonna hold up the randomest thing and be like,
listen, it's an honor. It's an honor for me at this point. But at first, it used to take me aback a little bit, because I'm like, okay, everybody else is kind of just doing their thing.
Yeah.
But, you know, usually with the veterans and stuff, people tend to hold up objects and they expect you to keep up.
Oof. That's a lot of pressure. I definitely couldn't do it. I'd be like, oh my God, what is this?
Yeah, can you slow that beat down?
Actually, give me a second to think about what is going on. What rhymes with chair? I don't know.
Right.
August 2022, there was a freestyle rap battle with a $200 cash prize, and it was free to enter. And this was the 25th and final battle, but I couldn't pinpoint exactly what it was.
So awesome point that you brought up. So essentially, it was the 25th freestyle battle that I curated for the hip hop community.
Okay.
So what happened was, I think right after Rhyme Spitters 4, I won Rhyme Spitters 4, which was 200 MCs, and I was the last man standing.
It was 200, then 32, and then...
Right, and so Fresco, he won the 5th one, then after that, it kind of ended. So it was kind of the freestyle rap scene became stagnant, and then the written battle scene kind of took over. So what I wanted to do was just kind of preserve the off-the-top aspect of it. And so then that's when I started my series of throwing it quarterly at Subterranean. And so for the 25th one, that was my last one, you know. And so that was that one. Yeah.
Okay, because I wasn't sure what... I just saw that it was like 25th in the final. I was like, what?
Yeah. So I wanted to keep the tradition of like the battles that I had done all across the nation and everything, with having judges and, you know, cash prizes and things like that. And I felt like that was just kind of like really important for, you know, the MCs that are coming up to, you know, have that experience.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
Yeah.
So on Free Flow, which is off of the Emcee Project, we'll get into the project a little bit more later, but you say, I go to Subt because it's my therapy.
Yes.
What is the meaning of that to you? Like,
so, you know, and I feel like a lot of MCs kind of feel that way. When you're able to go to a place and kind of release yourself artistically, you know, that has a lot of therapeutic connotations to it. And so so that's why I said I go to Subt. It's my therapy. Yeah. You know, anytime that I freestyle and you get it out, you know, it's just kind of like almost like a sigh of relief, you know.
Yeah.
So I definitely consider it therapeutic on many levels. You know?
Yeah, I feel like everybody has their own forms of therapy, so it's really nice that you have like a physical location that's like,
just go and rap, and you know, and it's like I'm not necessarily talking about what's going on in my life, but just the fact that, you know, I was able to just transfer whatever energy that I had into something constructive. You know, that's really essentially what it's about.
So still talking about Subt, because like I said, this is like a major spot for you. You do a lot of things there.
I've been there maybe once or twice, you know.
Only a couple times. Just a couple times. You did a No Coast rap battle there.
Yes.
You've been in these battles for so many years. I was trying to pinpoint exactly, and then I was like 8, 9, and then I was like, no, there's more, and then there's more, and I was like, I gave up.
That's about right. So with No Coast, they're a Midwest Battle League. That was founded in Missouri, and so Columbia, Missouri to be exact. And what's cool about this is that they're one of, or arguably the first league that not only focused on written battles, but also freestyle battles too. Yeah, you know, and
I know they have the two.
And so therefore, you know, when they branched into Chicago, you know, with me doing my Off the Top series, and you know, with them doing the written and the freestyle aspect, you know, we started collaborating roughly about 10 years ago. Shouts out to Kelly Betts, Ray Myers, my man Master Shake. Shake, what's up? And you know, we've been able to throw some successful events together, and there was no question where the event was going to be. You know? So therefore, it's
so you did. There was one that you did, Rookies versus Vets, in 2024 with Jordan J.
Yes.
Watch this battle. It was a 3-round battle. I want to ask, do you research your opponents ahead of time? Like, do you guys know? Because you kind of had some lines. You had a line in there about him being from Hoffman Estates. And I was like, I was dead laughing. I was like, whoa, what? Excuse you?
Yeah, shouts out to Jordan J. That's the difference between like a freestyle battle and a written battle. you know, anybody that you're battling, you know, you can just go on Google and just kind of look them up. And then a lot of times we're kind of on the scene with each other. So certain things are just common knowledge and you know, stuff like that. Or maybe hearsay, because that part I actually freestyled.
Yeah. I was wondering if that was a written
because it was kind of like a rebuttal to what he said. And then if you listen to what he says after I say Hoffman Estates, he's like, I'm from Aurora.
Yeah.
And so I was like, and I was like, okay, you say you're from Aurora. Well, I say that's great. Well, that's the reason I'm gonna run you over on I-88. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how I came up with that.
I was like, oh, damn, okay. People say I do my research, but y'all be doing your research on each other.
Oh man, I mean, they're coming in with a dissertation like SamIAm, you know, like just how you knew my first rhyme, and like they know all that stuff.
Oh my gosh, I watched so many battles. They know everything. I learned so much about you from watching.
I found a couple of people. I learned more about them. I was like, hold on.
How do you know that? I learned.
I'm being facetious, but y'all know what I mean.
But on the first round, though, you had to kind of restart a couple of times.
Yeah.
What happened?
Okay.
Because I think it was like something with your mic, maybe.
So with the microphone, it kept falling. So it was like up here, and then I started rapping, and it kept dropping and everything like that. But in that very first round, I started over twice. So it was kind of like I started, and then my brain switched, and then it clicked back, and then it switched, and it clicked back, and then I was able to go, you know, straight forward or whatever.
Okay.
Like, that's the thing, too, is that you have to realize, you know, when you're in the moment, you got to be in that moment, and you cannot break character, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, no matter when you see the lights, it's one thing to see the lights, but be in the lights, and it's really showtime, and you got to go. And I think, I think it was just like maybe a cobweb, you know, you get the cobweb off, and then boom, you know what I mean? And luckily, the cobweb only was like 5-6 seconds or something like that, instead of just, oh my God, I don't remember. You know, sometimes you got to, whether you pinch yourself or punch yourself or whatever you have to do to, you know, get yourself to that place where you can execute your material. You know, that's what you gotta do sometimes. So that's all that was.
Okay, all right. I was like, I wasn't sure. I kind of figured it was like a mic issue, but it took you a second to like get back into it.
Yeah, that was another thing too, is that, you know, when you rehearse these things, see, that's the thing with the written battles, you know, you're rehearsing these things like it's a play. So, you know, when you're, so now it's like, the lapel's like, it keeps falling off, so now I'm holding it like this. So now I'm doing the whole battle like this, but I practiced it saying it like that.
Yeah.
So it was like, so when I started, I'm like, hey, yo, and it threw me off, you know, at first for a second, but then I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Just recalibrate, because this is how you're going to execute it, you know? Yeah. And so, like, I was literally, like, just staring at my hand and imagining that my other hand was... these are the things that you have to psychologically do. And mind you, I'm thinking all this, and the crowd's just staring like, you know,
because nobody knows really what's going on.
Yeah, so
mentally,
you have to execute it, and you know, and I was glad, because I think like my Achilles heel was at a point written battles, because me being a freestyle MC, they're like, well, you know, how come you're not doing written battle raps? And my thing is, you know, I want to be respected as a battle rapper, period.
Yeah.
You know? And so even though, like, you know, certain purists or elitists, you know, feel, okay, no, you should only do freestyle battles if it's not off the top. It's not, you know what I mean? And my thing is like, you know what? I mean, everything is evolution, you know. The same rules for the NBA aren't the same that it is today. You know, people, they shoot 3-pointers now, but that wasn't even the main thing like that, you know, back in the day. Now, does that mean that somebody like Michael Jordan couldn't have made, you know, 8 3-pointers a game? No, that just wasn't the focal point, you know. And so, and that's the thing is, so it's just like, if you want to be current, you gotta learn how to shoot threes, right? Yeah. And so that's the written.
Yeah. So you were also the No Coast Freestyler of the Year for 2019.
Yes.
How was like the ranking system? Like, how does that kind of work?
Yeah. So, you know, just being ranked as the Freestyler of the Year. Whenever No Coast had an event, pretty much in Chicago or like Midwest, you know, they would, you know, set me up with whoever I had to battle, and, you know, when I went.
And random locations too, because sometimes y'all were just outside of like an abandoned building.
Yeah. Shout out to Isaac Knox, you know.
Yeah.
You know, just being able to just push my art creatively, and have that opportunity to represent for the league, you know, it's just a great thing for me, and just to be recognized for, you know, what I do. Now that was cool too, because, you know, when you're freestyling and you're doing your thing, I always tell people, let's just say if you make a post on Facebook and it gets, you know, 2 likes, but if you throw an event and you have 50 people there, the point is like, don't worry about if somebody sees you or not. Just know somebody is seeing you. Just know somebody is seeing you, and you know, and just do the best that you can, because you never know who may be paying attention. And so, you know, so when I saw that, you know, I was just like, oh wow, you know, that's cool. It was kind of like left field when I saw it, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know what I mean? But I never battled like trying to win that. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
One more no coast battle I want to bring up is versus Orlando Coolidge.
Oh yeah.
It was like the semifinals. He won that one, and then on the YouTube, because I was like, man, this is. Initially, I saw it was a 40-minute video, and I was like, there's no way it's a 40-minute rap, like battle, right?
Right.
But they have the judges' commentary afterward, which was like crazy. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Do you feel like choking is like automatically disqualifies a person? Because there was a little bit of debate amongst the judges about that.
Yeah. So I want to start off by saying, you know, shouts out to Orlando Coolidge. You know, to me, that battle was the most important written battle of my career.
And no one talks about it.
Yeah. So for a lot of reasons, because I learned that there was a difference between winning a battle in the room and winning the battle on camera. So that battle, I feel like I clearly won in the room.
Yes.
You know, if you listen to the responses, if you listen to everything, so they had like judges that weren't even there, you know, things like that. And those things can kind of skew, you know, the raw emotion of what it was, because if they were in the room, it probably would have felt different.
Yeah.
But
because they would have gotten like the crowd reactions and like.
Yeah, but then on the flip side, it's also good too, because somebody can think objectively instead of just like wearing the heart on the sleeve in the moment, you know. Yeah. So it has its pros and its cons. But yeah, that battle right there. And you know, we both had the personals.
Definitely.
You know, it was.
There was some low blows there.
Gut wrenching. You know, so, and his whole crew was there. My whole crew was there. Like, you know, so that was like a moment for me. But like I said, that was one of those battles that, you know, I feel like I definitely won in the room, and he won on camera. And, you know, and it's still revered to this day. And then we went on to make music together.
Yeah.
And we still work together and do events and everything like that. So, you know, my, you know, message to the kids out there, you know, even if you win a battle or lose a battle, it doesn't mean that you can't work with that person.
Yeah, because you've said that a few times. Which kind of brings me now to the next point. You see?
All right, you see the segue?
You see the segue?
All right.
You battled Isaac Knox, and then you were a guest teacher for his freestyle rap class in Orlando.
Yes.
So you see, it's like you guys battled, and then you worked together.
Yeah, Isaac Knox, he's definitely one of the best freestyle MCs on the planet. And, you know, it's been always an honor to battle him. I mean, we've battled a few times now.
Yes.
You know, and he's actually been the champion of a couple of my off the top events of Subterranean. And another thing too is like whenever he has something with his crew, then he'll invite me out to freestyle with them. And then he also teaches, like you said, the class. So it's just been an honor to be able to work with him. And then, you know, when I'm listening to him teach his techniques, and then he's listening to me, you know, teach my techniques, you know, we're still like, oh, okay, that's how you think, you know.
Do you guys like take that stuff that you guys were teaching and like use it when you're gonna go battle each other again? Like, you know, I know that you do this, so I'm gonna use that against you.
As a matter of fact, when we battled at Bourbon on Division, and we had this little pattern where we were talking about. I think it might have been Chinese food or whatever. And we were making little puns about it. So you could kind of You just watch the battle, you see what I mean. So anyway,
just watch.
And so
I saw it. You guys got to watch.
So then when we did a show together, like a regular freestyle show together, like his crew and me, we kind of did like a freestyle skit about like pineapples or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But the point was that our battle kind of influenced the angle that we did for our actual show, you know. So it's kind of cool to be able to battle and kind of take pieces from it to inspire you to do other think pieces as well.
Yeah, nice. So you were also a guest speaker at Columbia College Chicago. This was April 2022. You had some, I'm going to name some of the topics that you talked about.
Yes.
Improv freestyle in the early 90s, the difference between written and freestyle battles.
Yes.
And then what I really wanted to bring up was you said that there was one student who like stood out and to be on the lookout for him. His name was Reverb, I believe.
Yes.
So what happened to him? Like, did you stay in contact? Do you know, like, did his career flourish?
Oh, you know what?
Like,
shouts out to Reverb, man. You know, this kid, he's amazing. So the teacher's name is Amina Hawkins. So the producer of Remote Control, that's his wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering how that all that.
Yeah, and so it's just been such an honor to work out with both of them, Amina and Cool Out Chris. So with Amina, she teaches hip hop classes at Columbia and invites, you know, a lot of different Chicago underground heads to give lectures, you know, to the kids. And so whenever I would go up there, we would, you know, lecture about those said topics. Yeah. But then after that, we have a freestyle session, and then we ask the kids if they want to come up. So one of the kids in particular, Reverb, he came up and I was like, whoa, you know, this kid's very, very talented. And so now, you know, I see him doing a lot of shows at Subterranean and, you know.
Damn, I haven't caught him yet.
Yeah, so he's definitely, you know, just evolving and, you know, very, very gifted. He's definitely somebody to be on the lookout for sure. And so that relationship with, you know, doing the lectures at Amina's hip hop class, and then also with Cool Out Chris, he was teaching a music production class at Columbia. And so he asked me to freestyle at the end. And then at the end, I was thinking like, man, I've been doing lectures here. I've been working with you guys. Wait a minute, have we made an album yet? And so that's kind of how
we got to Remote Control.
That's how we got to Remote Control.
Okay, we're going to get all into remote. There's a whole little segment just about Remote Control. We're going to get there, guys.
Stay tuned now.
Yeah. I didn't want to jump right into the juicy details.
Right.
So I want to talk about another person that you battled that you then kind of have like a personal relationship with. I don't know how to say his name. Alpha Male?
Alpha Male, yeah.
So he mentioned in one of the battles against you going to NIU. Yeah. During this time, you were also on the front page of the newspaper because you performed at NIU.
Yeah, Northern Star newspaper.
Yeah, and then you performed with Talib Kweli, or you opened up or something like that.
Yeah. So that was really amazing. So 1 week before graduation, I was able to. Actually, I had the honor to open for Talib Kweli and Duke Ellington Ballroom on the NIU campus, and so. I had done my last open mic. I threw a ton of open mics.
Yeah, over 40 open mics?
Yes, indeed. And so, like I said, my experience as a curator is very extensive, you know. And so I started off with a crew by the name of Soul Infinite. And we were throwing a lot of events on college campus. And so once they kind of moved on and graduated, because I was like the young pup of the crew, then I was able to kind of just do my own thing solo and take over from there.
Nice. And then when you were at NIU, you also did a song for the Hot Takes show.
Yeah, so
like you did their like intro song.
Yeah. So for Hot Takes, that was for that was actually
for Northwestern. Sorry, Northwestern University. Yeah, my apologies.
And so the Hot Take show, Northwestern, they have a couple of debate teams there. So that's what they're doing basically. They have me come up with the Hot Take show intro, and you know, shouts out to them. You know,
nice. So how did they approach you to do it? Like for you to make the song or the intro?
Yeah, so I met them at an event, and And so I ended up doing an interview with them in Hyde Park. And so once I did the interview and a freestyle for them, that's when they were like, hey, you know what? Well, we also have a debate show. Let's get you on there to do an intro. And I found like a beat and, just kind of went from there.
Nice. Yeah, because it was really fun. I enjoyed it. I was like, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah.
So 2022, I found that it was the 18-year anniversary of being part of Phi Beta Sigma, which is a fraternity that you were a part of. So do you feel like that experience at all helped influence your music or your career in any way?
I think that it inspired me in terms of, just brotherhood. Because I have one sister, so I don't have any biological brothers. So, just doing that, not only did it help me, I feel, recalibrate my focus, as far as just graduating. And, I think it overall, just made me more aware of a lot of different things in my life. But as far as musically, no, I don't feel that, being a Sigma had any influence on that. But it had a lot of influence on me as a person. Yeah. Okay. And like I said, with our 20th anniversary, it's on the 16th. So happy anniversary, bros. You know what I mean? Go mob. You know what I mean? And it's just crazy. 20 years ago, homecoming weekend, just coming out on campus, like, it was just wild, man. Yeah. So, it's just an honor to be a part of, the Divine Nine, Phi Beta Sigma. Shouts out to the Zetas out there, and my cousins, the Gammas and Betas. So, much love, y'all.
So you mentioned your sister, who I think her name is also Sam?
Samantha. Yeah. Because our dad is Sam. So Sam and Sam is Samantha, and my son is Sammy 3. So I have to keep it going. Keep it going. Yeah.
You mentioned somewhere that your sister was like kind of what inspired you or like influenced you to get into battling. Just I think because that childhood
So how I started, how I got into hip hop, I definitely credit not only my sister but my cousin Robert. So we grew up together watching. BET, Video Soul, Video Vibrations, Young TV Raps, The Box, you name it. And plus my daddy was DJing and everything, so you know what I mean? So, but that's how we got into it. And then just like with my cousin Rob, like right after I did that bubblegum rap, we were typing on computers back then where the screen was like black and green. I don't know if people remember how long ago that was. But that was a very long time ago. I don't remember like Commodores or something, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I kind of just kept going, and he got more into graffiti, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, definitely my sister, she played a major role.
Yeah, definitely. So speaking of like all these old school kind of shows and things like that, and also still staying on the battling part, we're going to talk about your most notable battles. I grew up watching these. I literally remember, like, I was watching the video, like the recap videos, and I was like, it took me back to a moment where I was like, I saw myself in my room watching you on TV, cheering you on. Like, he's from Chicago, he has to win. What is going on? Like, it took me really, like, back to that place. So that's why this is such a full circle moment, because I'm like, I watched you when I was growing up.
Wow.
And now I'm sitting here with your crazy stuff. So I'm going to start with 106 in Park, Freestyle Fridays, because I used to watch that religiously. Like, who didn't? If you were like a hip hop head, you had to watch it.
Definitely watch that.
Definitely. So each battle was like 30 seconds. I'm kind of upset because I was supposed to bring out a prop. It didn't get here in time.
You had a prop for me?
I did, and it's
okay.
The shipping people mad at you.
What happened, you guys?
Right? So you wore these little Jordan earrings. Every single battle.
Yes. Jordan is the GOAT to me. So so in a way, I was just kind of insinuating that I'm the rap GOAT or whatever. But, I mean, I would never say that.
No,
that's for other people to decide. But as far as presentation and everything,
right? Like you tell us if he's the GOAT or not, right?
Yeah. So as far as presentation, you know, I was always, you know, on the rocking the Jordan earrings back then, you know, and plus, you know, I had to represent Chicago, let people know.
Of course, yeah.
So even if somebody had no idea where I was from, if they were watching me and they saw the Jordans, they'll probably put two and two together.
Yeah, you know, you know. How was the audition process?
So the audition process, it was fate. It was definitely fate.
Yes.
Because 106 and Park is in Manhattan. So anybody that battles at 106, they had to go to Manhattan pretty much. But they had a one-time audition in Chicago. I'm just like, man, what? Yeah. No way. No way. So I get there. It's like, you know, like 500 rappers or something like that. I battled maybe about 6 or 7 people to get in there. And, you know, I wanted to be the first rapper from Chicago and the only rapper to be retired. And I was able to do that.
And you did.
Me and another rapper by the name of Agent Orange. Yeah, yes. Agent Orange. So he's from Springfield, Illinois. He also made the cut. And we're both in the class of 2009. Yep. So we're the only two from the state. From the state of Illinois to be retired on 106 and Park. And we battled each other. That was like my final battle. And they liked us so much that they kept us both after we beat everybody else.
Yes, I remember.
And we both got retired, because he battled right before me. You know what I'm saying? So he retired, and then I went on like that very next week.
I remember this like so distinctly
crazy.
in my brain. It's crazy. Week 4 was your favorite because of the mass appeal beats.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, that was my favorite. And it was crazy because, you know, at first they were, you know, just playing more like current beats and everything. And like with me being true school and everything, I heard the I was like, oh, I'm gonna kill this
y'all don't even know what you just did.
I'm like, okay, now we talking. I'm like, there's no way he's gonna beat me on this beat. You know what I mean? Like that's how I looked at it. You know? But I mean. And then the DJ, he was dropping the beat on the punchlines and everything like that. I was just like, ooh, okay.
It was flawless.
You know, thank you. You know, and so that was against a battle MC by the name of Tony Fox. You know, shouts out to him. You know, and he did well. You know, and so, you know, but that second beat, I was like, this is me, and you know. No, it was. Because watching all of the previous ones, because I watched like the recaps, so watching them all back to back, that was definitely like where you were like, oh, this is it. Like this is mine. Like get out my way. Yeah. This is it. Yeah.
Then after BET, you get retired, Hall of Famer class of 09. Then you go on to MTV's $1 Million Battle. Yeah. You make it to the semifinals, and then they postpone it.
Right.
Which was
crazy.
Lying liars. Yeah. It's fine.
Hands on fire.
And you said that DJ Timbuktu actually submitted your name. For this battle.
Yeah. And that was such an honor there. And rest in peace, Timbuktu. But yeah, he submitted my name to be in there. And what's crazy is, so when I battled on 106 at Park, right, like literally like 2 weeks after I was done, I get that call. So I'm just like, okay, I've been going on my whole life, like rapping in the basement. Yeah. You know, this kid from Stony Island. And, you know, now I'm on BT and MTV like every week. It's crazy. You know? So, and doing what I love to do. And so yeah, for the MTV, I got in there, and there was a whole bunch of celebrities like in there, like G-Dep, this guy from Bad Boy. They also had like Nick Fury, who was also 106 and Park champion. Man, so they had, and then Disaster, he's like a huge, battle rapper, which we were
supposed to go head to head.
Yeah, we were supposed to battle for the million. So, you know, MTV, if y'all want to schedule that, you know, I could, you know,
let's go. I'm waiting for it. You know? I'm waiting for it.
Shouts out to Disaster though, man.
I was pissed when they canceled it. I remember I was like, oh my God, come on. Like, and they just, they didn't cancel. They just postponed and postponed indefinitely.
And we had 3 episodes, so it wasn't like, okay, they just canceled off the rip. We had like 3 legit, episodes, and the semifinals, went very well for me, and I was really looking forward to battling him, and that's not going to happen, and so, he's going on to do his thing, and I'm doing my thing, and you know, maybe we'll cross paths again.
That's what I was gonna say. Do you guys think you'll ever battle each other?
I don't know. You know, who knows, man? We'll see.
You never know. Hey, maybe we could make that happen since MTV couldn't. I mean, maybe not with the money, but like maybe we could make a battle. I ain't got $1 million.
I told like even if we you know, did a cipher or something. Yeah, something. Doesn't even have to be
just for
that nihilistic.
Just for good old times. Like kind of give the people who are waiting like me that closure.
That's what's up. That's what's up. But yeah, he killed it, and you know, it was going to be, you know, freestyling over a beat and things like that. And I think Disaster would have had the advantage of battling me freestyling without a beat. You know, and I think I would have had the advantage on a beat, and the format would have been, I think, on and off beat. So I just think it would have been very interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
You also said, I believe, in an interview or a sit down while you were on MTV, that you want to be known as the greatest freestyle MC of all time.
Yeah. So just to make the quote exact, I did want to say that. I believe that I said that I wanted to be regarded as one of the dopest, because I realized that even when I was younger, as a battle MC, you can, as a braggadocio MC, you're going to say you're the best and everything like that. But realistically, there will never be one undisputed great of anything, because as long as there's different people, opinions are like assholes, right? Yeah. Everybody's got one. So, and still, it takes a lot to be regarded as the one of the dopest, you know, as one of the dopest. And so my thing is to be in the conversation, you know what I mean? Like at least be in the room with a conversation, you know what I mean? And so I feel like over the years, you know, I try to put in the work to, you know, if you want to talk about like Chicago and freestylers, you know, I feel like my name, you know, hopefully it'll come up.
It definitely comes up. I want to ask, because like I said, I watched pretty much every battle you have online.
Wow.
Does it get exhausting? Because I feel like every single person always brings up the 106 and the MTV stuff, and it's like, bruh, can y'all find something else to get on him about? Like,
well, that's the thing, is that when you're battling, you know, people are trying to attack you with what they know is going to hit, right? And so, you know, it's just like, that's just what it is, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's why when I did a rim battle against, I want to say it was Beretta Bro.
Beretta Bro.
Yeah, he didn't use any of those angles. It was just straight. It was just straight bars. So that battle is probably my favorite written battle.
That one was raw because I think that was definitely, I think, probably it stood out to me because he didn't use any of that, and I was like, finally, someone gets it. Shit.
Shouts out Beretta, man. You know, and I feel like,
and he's dope.
Yeah, he's super dope. Yeah, and I think that probably was like arguably my strongest showing, like written wise. You know.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a good one. So I'm just gonna get into like other like notable freestyle / battles that you've done.
Yeah.
You had like this little like mini series freestyle. OTT, off the top, if you don't know what that means. At the Point in Hyde Park. Then you did one like in your car.
Yeah.
Is this like a series you were trying to start? Like,
yeah. So in high school, the Point is on 55th in Hyde Park, so the lakefront, and so the lake house, right? And so every Tuesday and Thursday in high school, they would have breakdancing sessions there. And then on the weekends, they'll have like weddings and, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's where a lot of high school kids went to not only cypher, but do graffiti or breakdance, or just, you know, but that was the place
like the
to go.
hip hop hub.
Yeah, it was like the hip hop hub, you know, on 55th. And, you know, that really like transformed me though, like into, you know, like a lyricist from an MC or like a hardcore B-boy or, you know, everything like that. And I don't know if there's places like that more so for the youth now, like it was back then. You know, like I said, back then it was totally different. Even if that wasn't going on, then Monday and Friday I was going to different high schools and looking for people who even looked hip hop to battle. You know, like
you look hip hop. Let's do something.
Like, hey man, I'm gonna battle you, and then I'm gonna get your girl's number. Like that's how it went. You know.
Now you say like you look hip hop, because you also mentioned like when you were growing up, a lot of, obviously we're in Chicago, things, gangs and crime is, you know, a thing. But I think you mentioned somewhere that because you were like you looked hip hop or you were in hip hop, like people didn't really look to you to get into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because they were all around. But you know, the group that I was around, you know, they saw like, okay, you know what, this dude is hip hop, and you know, back then too, it's like you gang banging or you like hooping or you like a Mac Daddy or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I was the hooper, so I mean, everybody was in my backyard, whether it was gang bangers or like, you know, hoopers or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we all just kind of like looked out for each other, and you know, I was able to kind of just do my thing and focus on hip hop and trying to be hard in that department, not you know, necessarily just like in the street so much, but you know, because you could be in the street but not a street dude, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Another notable kind of freestyle you did was the weather report.
Oh yeah,
on TV, yeah.
So that was so cool. You know, shouts out to Jam TV.
Yeah, Jam TV.
And I had the opportunity to freestyle about the weather. I'm just like, oh, whoa, you know, and you know, I go up there.
I think it was like cold or it's 43.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, so it was 43 degrees, and I'm just looking, I'm like, okay, well, boom, 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 boom. And DJ Mustafa Roxy, he had the perfect beat. It was like the perfect tempo. And it was real quick. I only did like maybe like 6 bars.
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't like super long, but it was just cool that you're doing the weather report.
I'm just like, wow, this is the first for me. And you know, that was the first and only time I've ever done something like that, and you know, just to, you know, even kind of be recognized by that TV show. So I think that's cool too, that I've kind of gotten to that place in my career where, you know, that I get a chance to do some cool stuff.
Yeah, and I think there's a meteorologist now, well, I know he's on TikTok, I don't know exactly what station, that he incorporates like different hip hop lines into his weather report. Like he doesn't do it like, you know, he's not freestyling it, but like he'll incorporate it. Like
I haven't seen that, and I wonder.
You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it. I would love to see that. Definitely send that to me.
Yes,
for sure.
I gotta send you those TikToks because he does it so slick, like real. Like if you don't know, like you wouldn't pick up on it. Of course, it's national television, you know. But he's like such a hip hop head that he like. Sneaks it in there a little bit.
Yeah. So that's dope. Yeah, and I think, you know, when I did the freestyle clip, also there was a rapper by the name of Hot to Death. He's a dope artist as well, and he also did a take. He did a freestyle take too, with me on that show, and I think a lot of people saw it, and I started seeing more spin-offs of what we did. And that's what I mean by that. You know, I had never seen that prior to us doing that.
Yeah, well, I think that was more recent. I think like last year or two that I kind of saw this guy. 2023, you did like something in New Orleans with like a live band.
Oh yeah. So my thing is, whenever I'm out of town and I go somewhere, I'm always looking for what is the Wicker Park of this area.
Yeah.
You know, what is the Hyde Park of this, you know, city. And so we were, I think it was called Henchman Street, I believe. Yeah, that's right. And so, we go in the club, and, you know, I see this live band up there, and one of the musicians was from the Midwest, like Milwaukee, but like lived in Chicago for a little bit too. And I was like, well, you know, I'm an improv MC, you know, I love to kind of do my thing a little bit. And, you know, he let me go up there, and he was just nervous because, you know, I guess when they hear like, yo, I'm about to freestyle, they're like, what if he comes up there and saying, 1 to the 2, and how are you? Like, you know,
something crazy.
Exactly. So I'm like, no, I got up there and got busy, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I try to do any and everywhere I go outside of Chicago. I think a lot of people, and I always try to tell the young kids, if you get a chance to travel and trying to get your name out there, you know, take a couple of seconds to Google what's going on out there, so then that way you can network and make an indelible mark.
Yeah, definitely. So now another one, you did 16 bars for the one-shot competition?
Yep. So that Eminem, he had a one-shot competition out there. You know, I actually went to the actual audition they had in Chicago.
Yeah.
It had to be at least 5,000 people there. So I was like, well, I'm not sure how that's going to go.
Yeah.
But if I post 16 bars and like hashtag them, like back then, you could hashtag it and it would, you know.
And it actually would go somewhere.
Yeah, it would go. Now it just does nothing.
Yeah.
You know? But so that's how I created those bars, and that was to try to get Eminem's attention. And Eminem, I haven't heard from you yet.
Where you at?
Right?
Where you at?
Where you at, bro?
It's funny because Eminem was like my introduction to hip hop.
Yeah.
Like the cleaning out my closet. That era,
right.
That was my
right.
And I had to get like the clean version because back then
right.
my parents didn't even like hip hop, and Eminem was.
Yeah.
For that to be my introduction is a lot.
And M was M, you know. Yeah.
M was
Right.
Slumfest MC Battle 2018, and I want to bring this up because you were the only overtime round of the night.
Oh yeah. That was an amazing battle, and so shouts out to, you know, Slumfest STL. Actually, a couple years ago, I opened for Souls and Mischief there, but for that particular battle, I was the only person that was overtime. Now, I mean, it was controversial. I think if you ever battle in another city and you go to overtime, you know, to me, that's a win no matter what the overtime
regardless
is.
of who.
You know, no matter what the overtime is, because they obviously felt enough pressure to
take it there.
Yeah. And that's how I've learned to. I think that's a healthy way of looking at overtimes, whether you win or lose, you know.
Yeah, definitely commendable. Mm-hmm. And then in 2019, you said you were the first MC to use flage in a rap.
Yeah. So, and with flage, you know, that means you're faking, you know, you're capping. And so, I used that in the battle versus Isaac Knox at Bourbon on Division. He had a line about camouflage. He was like, so you and your girl, you're wearing camouflage so you can't be seen with each other. Yeah. And I'm like, well, the camouflage, but this man no flage, you know, he's lying, right? This man no flage. Matter of fact, your girl just gave Sam a massage, so that's how you that together.
Brought it all together.
Yeah.
This one is really funny. You had a battle in Canada, but to cross the border, you had to freestyle?
Yes.
What?
Yes, I got stuck at the border. And I was just like, okay. He's like, you have to freestyle or else I'm not letting you cross the border.
That's crazy. Like, he was dead ass.
And he was dead ass, yeah. So I'm like, all right, get the camera ready. And then after I freestyle, he's like, you have to keep going. So I put on the Eminem beat. I keep going and going. I had a freestyle for like 10 minutes straight, you know what I mean, before he let me cross the border.
Oh my God, you really had to earn your...
I really had to earn that. And I was going out there to battle. I'm like, dude, I'm going out here to battle. You're going to make me forget my material.
I'm going to battle before I battle.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it, but yeah, that was something else. That was really something else. Yeah. Wow, that was classic.
Your bio also says that you freestyle house music. So how does that kind of work?
Yeah, so with my family... Everyone on my dad's side, they're all DJs, you know, from, you know, his brother, my dad, his brothers, to my cousins. And so in particular, my cousin DJ John Simmons, shouts out, what up? You know, he's known to spin house music, and he would give me the opportunity to freestyle at a lot of his shows back in the day that had house music. So when I had the opportunity to freestyle, it was over a house beat. And so that kind of like really got my feet wet. But even before then, I was the type to always practice over faster beats. Because if I can freestyle over a fast beat, then put on a slow beat is nothing. And so that's when I was able to kind of like learn how to do a whole bunch of tricks. You know, it's kind of like teaching yourself how to drive. And if you can drive fast, it's like, okay, driving 20 miles per hour is nothing.
Yeah. So you said that the underground in Chicago doesn't get the proper attention.
Right.
So I tried to fill the void. Is that kind of why you started Thunderground Records?
Absolutely. So, you know, when I think about Thunder and when I think about underground and how I'm always weaving words together, Thunderground, you know, and when you think about thunder, when it cracks the surface, you're breaking ground, right? And so what I'm trying to do is break new ground. And so, you know, with Thunderground, hopefully you know, we can get the attention that we deserve. And even if we don't, I have the Facebook pages and different, right, yeah. And, you know, I create different platforms to, you know, just try to keep that going or whatever.
Yeah, because you have like the Freestyle Underground page.
Yeah, right, and so that's Thunderground Promotions, and that's where, you know, people can not only hear underground music, but they can also, you know, they can promote their events as well. So, you know, I'm just trying to create different avenues where any complaint that we have in the underground, instead of me just sitting there and whining and complaining about it, I feel like that's when you hear people saying, man, these old heads talking about, man, you don't know how hip hop was in my day. You ain't got no idea. All right, you know, it's just like, come on, man, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's like any change that I want to see, I want to execute that. And then another thing, I don't know, just to kind of reverse back to it right before I forget about it, because I know we talked about Alpha Male. He went to NIU. Actually, yeah, so we had a lot of NIU history. And he's by far one of my favorite battlers of all time. He has a lot of clever one-liners, and we battled in Ron Spitter's 4 in the final round. And like I said, he's somebody who, you know, I won against him. He's won against me. You know
you guys
what I mean?
have like a history.
Yeah, we got a history. Him, Mood Swings. You know, there's a whole bunch of cats out there that really do their thing. Yeah, like Doomsday, Roadblock. Just a lot of MCs I used to run into a whole lot during that era.
Yeah, definitely. So with Thunderground, you also put on like events and things. So you had like Night of the Emcees, Cheeto Fest. I'm not quite sure how to say that.
So every time that I do a show, I come up with a different theme name.
Yeah.
So no two events are the same. So it'll say Thunderground at the top, but you know, it might say, you know, I don't know, tropical storm hip hop or something. I don't know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you know, I try to keep it fresh, but just you know, still let them know where it comes from.
Yeah. And then you did recently where I went to my first Thunderground show, which I think was Thunder Clouds.
Right, Thunder Clouds. Yeah.
At the Avail Kitchen. And then I think you mentioned that you're trying to do like once a month.
Right.
Something like that?
Yeah, so hopefully, you know, that could turn into a monthly thing. But if not, I just want it to be when the time is right. You know, even if it has to be quarterly. I just noticed with certain things with, you know, underground hip hop, you know, it has to have that buzz to really kind of kick. Yeah,
and then sometimes I think in the beginning, whenever you're starting something, it takes people a second to like catch on. Yeah. You know,
there's always a lot going on, you know, or sometimes there might be a lot of events going on the same day, all types of
that happens to me all the time. I'm like invited to 4 different events on the same night. I'm like, I'm one person. Everything, I promise.
There's always a myriad of factors.
Always, and I think Chicago's such a place that it's not easy, but like there's just so many opportunities to create events and for people to go out and like so many different circles and things like that it's you know, there's a lot. So speaking of events and performances, I want to bring up some notables or some that stood out to me.
All right.
The JVN event with Mike Specs in 2021.
Oh yeah. So that was a great event there, and you know, just being able to be outside with the whole graffiti on the wall. That was like one of those type of events where you can see the DJ outside playing the music. Then you also have kind of like a meeting of the styles where there's a lot of people doing graffiti. You kind of getting all the elements in one. And so those are like pretty much like my favorite type of events, you know, when you're able to do something outside.
Yeah. And then you've also opened up for Kid and Play.
I did.
That one was super exciting.
Yeah. And fun fact, SamIAm used to have the hot top for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man.
You definitely were in that era where
and then when Jodeci came out, I had the curly fade, man, like with the slant, like it was, I thought it was like Devontae's cousin, like it was bad, you know. Not like Forever My Lady on the answer machine, you know, like, oh man, it was crazy.
It's such a classic.
Like, don't talk, just listen. You know what I mean? So those were the days. Those were the days, man.
You also performed at Mayfest with 2 Hype Crew.
Yes, so with 2 Hype Crew, we've been performing with each other for quite some time. And so essentially what they do, they're a live cover band, and they play a lot of, you know, other hits from like the 90s and the early 2000s, you know, whether it be, you know, hip hop array or OPP, but they're playing the song from scratch, you know what I mean? It's not like an instrumental playing or anything like that. And then whenever I can make it to one of their events, because they only do like pretty much big shows, you know, I get the chance to kind of freestyle and do my thing. And so one time they had Kid and Play there, and I was like, okay, I'm definitely making this show, man. Because, I mean, I still know House Party by heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was the new school kid. Like, I used to tell people, like, that was my older brother. Like, it was serious. It was.
You also did the African Festival of the Arts. You performed
yeah. So my brother crooned, you know, with the African Fest. That's an annual thing that goes on in Hyde Park around 55th as well. So just that whole area of 55th, like Hyde Park, you know, it's just
definitely your.
That's kind of like
spot,
the mecca there, and then Wicker Park as well. But you know, just had the opportunity to go there and do my thing with the mighty S.A.K crew.
Yeah. Speaking of Wicker Park, you used to mingle Mondays at the Crocodile.
Oh my God! Wow, this is great. So yeah, just to kind of break that down, back in the day, after I did 106 Apart and realized that MTV was never going to follow through on that reschedule, as we talked about. Because I'm like, all right now, you know.
It's been some time.
I'm like, can we get a payout for this? So anyway, I was like, okay, I better go back into the promotional game. And then with Crocodile, we had every Monday there. And it was hip hop and house with my guy, DJ Blake Walker, a.k.a. DJ Q Hefner at the time. So, you know, it was a great experience. And, you know, it was a good run.
Hiro Day or Hiro Day or Hero Day?
Hiro Day. So Hieroglyphics, that's my favorite hip hop group.
I know.
Of all time. As they know, tatted on my arm.
Okay, I was going to ask you if you actually do have the tattoo.
I do.
You said it in a battle.
Yeah, Ray Myers, he said that in the battle. Yeah.
And I was like, wait, do you actually have it, or did you just rebuttal that just to rebuttal?
He was like, yeah, do you actually have a hieroglyphics tattoo? And yeah, I really do. I have a Hiro tattoo on this arm, and I have a Phi Beta Sigma brand on this arm.
Those are your two big ones, and they come up in battles all the time. They come up
all the time. All the time. Yeah. So
I was really curious if you actually had the tattoo. So how does it feel like kind of performing at Hiro Day and having like hieroglyphics be such a
so it's kind of like a dream come true to be involved with, you know, anything that they do. They had a documentary called Till Infinity, and that was and that was Shamari Smith. He directed the documentary, and I was able to curate the screening in Chicago at Emporium. So, you know, just little things like that really kind of, you know, catapulted me to another level with that. And, you know, just growing up with them being my heroes, and now they kind of see what I've done, you know, as an artist. And so, you know, you kind of go from like, not just a hero, but like a peer. And I think that's what my goal was. And is still to this day.
Definitely. We're going to talk about hieroglyphics later, but we're here. So it's fine. So aside from all of these people, you've also opened up for like a myriad of other artists like Bone, Twista, Slick Rick, Kool Keith, Camp Lo. How do you end up opening up for these people, and how does it feel like? Because I think some of them you even like saw growing up, or you know.
All of them. You know? So just being able to network with people, and you know, some of the artists reached out to me as well. Like I said, just with me being a promoter, you know, things of that nature. You know, but like I said, just essentially, you know, you got to build those relationships, you know, and with me being a promoter, I've done things at so many different venues. You know, I might say, hey, if you hear about somebody coming in town, can you give me the heads up on this? You know, or, you know, you might see something online. Another way I used to get shows, if I didn't have a connection, is as soon as I see it, then I would go and see like who's throwing the event, and then I would reach out to their manager and say, is there any other, you know, slots open, you know, things like that, you know. But there's different ways to skin a cat.
Yep. So now let's get into some of your music, because you're not just a freestyle, you're not just a battler.
No, I'm not.
You have some albums out.
Yeah.
So we're gonna focus on the Emcee Project and Remote Control because those are like the bigger ones. We'll mention the other ones, but you know, we're gonna focus on that.
We just might, you know.
We might. We'll see. I don't know where I'm going with these note cards. I write them and then we go from there.
All right, sounds good.
So Common had your demo.
Oh my God.
And wanted to work with you. But your mom intercepted.
You see, I'm still like, I'm not over it. I love you, Mom, but I'm not over it. So just to kind of break that down with,
I would be so mad at my mom.
So I'm from 93rd and Stony, and he's off of 87th and Stony Island. Mm-hmm. So we grew up, you know, in the same area. And when he dropped the Resurrection album, you know, I would still see him, you know, in the neighborhood. And so when I made my first demo, I gave him my demo, and he actually called my house. And my parents picked up the phone, and he said something to the nature of that he wanted to work with me. And she's like, no, he has to get his education and this, that, and the fourth. I'm like, Mom, I'm in 5th grade. I'm like, Mom, I'm ready now. So I probably could have been on Resurrection.
I know. Like, can you imagine?
He probably doesn't even remember that, you know what I mean? But, you know, we do.
I mean, you never. Yeah. Did your mom ever realize, like, how big or, like, how major that was? Like, maybe not in the moment, but, like, in hindsight?
I don't think so.
Has she ever brought it up again?
You know what? We talk about it a little bit now because now Common is, like, a household name.
Yeah.
But, you know, Common, he was, like, you know, on the rise at that time. But they just weren't having it, you know, on any level. And, you know, and then that made me go in the basement and make more tapes. And then I just kept changing my name.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, now I'm called the one and only. It's like Sammy D. I went from Sammy D to the one and only to Lyrical Assassin. Yeah.
SamIAm, who you are now.
Bam.
So you started your studio album career in 2001, I believe?
Yeah, like 2000.
With Refreshing and The Taste.
Yes, so both of those.
And they were both produced by D to the E.
Yeah, you got it. All right.
I was like, let me see if I got this.
You eat that out right there.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I gotta do it with a little swag.
That was perfect. That was perfect. You got it. Because everybody's like, it was produced by D Today, and it's like, no.
Because it's like, you gotta look at the spacing. It's all in the spacing.
Gotta pay attention, y'all. But, yeah, and so he fully produced those first 2 albums, and they were executive produced by my cousin Robert Bearden. And so, you know, with those albums, it was kind of, you know, in that vein of Hyro and Tribe and just like, you know, Native Tongues, and we really wanted to do something refreshing and different, you know, for hip hop, but also with a South Side spin to it, South Side of Chicago spin.
Yeah, I want to talk about Uproar or Uproot?
Uprock. Yeah.
Uprock. Okay, there we go. Mm-hmm. Jeez, I'm telling you, my handwriting. I say this in every interview. My handwriting is not the best. So, it's off of The Taste.
Yes.
And it was featured on the Pump It Up video game?
Yes. So that was like a big breakthrough.
Yeah.
For
I
me,
can imagine.
You know, and just shouts out to all my people overseas. You know, it's so crazy is that you can make an album and you got 18 songs, and the songs that, you know, you think are gonna blow don't, and the ones you don't do. You know what I'm saying? So that was Uprock. Like, Uprock is literally like the first song on my album. Like it was supposed to just set it off. Like, and then with Uprock, that's the little dance that, you know, everybody does right before they start breakdancing. You know what I mean? And so, you know, the song was maybe like a minute and 30 seconds, and we were like, man, you know what? Let's submit this, and it really hit. And so then after that, we did about 3 or 4 more songs for Pump It Up, and just to kind of, you know, let people know, Pump It Up is like Dance Revolution, where you dance to the arrows on the screen. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so then for the other songs, they made like original beats and sent it to us. Wow. So I was like, so it's like guaranteed in the game.
At that point, definitely guaranteed.
Yeah. So I mean, but that was my start of getting songs, and in video games. That was the very first one.
Awesome. Have you been in like other video games? Or...
So no, that one, that's it. But I ended up getting multiple songs in that game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that was cool.
An accomplishment in itself.
Yeah, I mean, and Uprock was my my first music video. So it was just like a lot of first to first.
Yeah, it was definitely like a big one. That's why I had to bring it up because
so that was a great moment in time, and you know, shout out to Deshaun. You know, I wish him the best.
Yeah. So let's get into the Emcee Project. So the second track you asked, what does it take to be an MC? So
right.
What's the answer?
Right. So, and that's what the second verse is all about. You know, whether it's taking, you know, energy, consistency, you know, all different type of aspects. And so with the first verse, I kind of wanted to let people know, like, how I became an MC and, you know, just growing up, walking up and down Stony Island, 87th, and, you know, all that stuff like that. And then, and the second verse is when I kind of turn into Professor Sam. And, you know, it takes energy, dedication, stage show, delivery, you know, punchlines, metaphors, similes, raw lyrics with authentic, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know, going there.
Yeah. Like
catalog, collab, concepts, creativity, consistency, you know. So, you know, flowing to a beat, you know, all that. And these are the things that I really do believe, you know, encompasses being an MC, you know what I mean?
So, Scatterbrain, this is like a super fun beat. Can you tell me about the song? Like, how did you come up with, like...
Yeah, so I think a lot of my thoughts are disjointed. And so... and they like to say scatterbrain. So
yeah.
I like to say disjointed, you know.
I like disjointed, too.
Yeah, but then there's a way to, you know, just because your thoughts are scrambled doesn't mean you can't make an omelet. You know what I mean? So...
I mean, scrambled eggs are still good.
Right, exactly, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like how I wanted to put that together. So like I said, you know, catch me on the scene with the queen like Elizabeth Taylor, I'll get married multiple times. So, you know, if you look at that line, you know, I'm saying like a queen, like, okay, I want to get with a queen, but queen like Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth, and then Elizabeth Taylor. Yeah. But I didn't say Elizabeth twice. I said it once and just weaved it. Right. You see what I'm saying? You know. You know, just like I'll say stuff like, you know, I stole Victoria's Secret deodorant, you know what I mean? Like I kind of think in those ways, you know, and so that's kind of like my train of thought there.
Batting practice. I love it because of all the baseball references.
Yes,
are you like a big baseball fan?
So that one was a dedication to hieroglyphics. So
of course.
Yeah. So
of course. It always comes back.
Yeah, it always comes back. So with hieroglyphics, they had a song called Batting Practice. But the sample was from the demo version, not the version that's actually on the 93 to Infinity album. So my guy, DJ Pompey, who was the president of No Coast, he's also a producer and MC as well. So once he saw the Till Infinity documentary, he was inspired to take that same sample, but then like we do our own version, you know, and so that's when he got the sound bites, you know, and you can't beat that with a bat, you know, from Black Sheep, you know, the choice is yours, you know, and then we, you know, kind of pieced that all together with the samples, and you know, and we wanted to kind of you know, just show like hieroglyphics a little dedication, a little nod to them, but also being 100% original,
true to it, so now we're gonna get into the Remote Control album with Cool Out Chris. We're gonna break down all the tracks, all the things.
Let's go.
So you recorded it during the pandemic,
right?
Cool Out Chris did all the production, and then you did all the lyrics.
Yes.
And it has like very classic vibes, like De La Soul, Slum Village, and like Black Moon. Yeah. And there was also a remix version somewhere.
Right. So his cousin, which his name is Two Minds, where he goes by 2 Millie. He's from Michigan, and you know, he loved the album, and so we sent him the acapellas. You know what I mean? And then, you know, he put them on his beats and everything, and you know, and that's why if you take a look at the Remote Control album, so it's 7 tracks, right?
7 tracks.
Now, so the first 7 is the Cool Out Chris version, and then the next 7 are the remixes.
Okay. And then it's also on vinyl.
Yes,
correct?
yes. So
Is the
big
remix on
shouts out.
vinyl or it's just
No, so it's just the main album.
the main album?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but it's on vinyl too, y'all. So make sure y'all go cop that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I want to get the vinyl. I got to go
Yeah.
get that myself.
Yeah. I have like one record of it. We only pressed a few of them, so
okay.
you know. So just let me know, and then I could,
Oh,
order
okay.
it for
So
you.
you got a special order it. So you got to hit him up to get the
special delivery. Right.
So you also had a release listening party at Enjoy for for the album. How was the release party?
It was amazing. So many people came out to show love. The album sold out that night, and I had like a nice amount on me. So, so that was good. I was definitely really excited. I think the videos, they've, done pretty good, and any form of progression is moving forward. And what I want to do is just, I don't have to be platinum or bootleg platinum. I just wanted to keep progressing, and I feel like this project was a progression and an evolution, and not only my storytelling, but just just everything in general. Most of the songs that I was doing previous to this, they were a lot of features. So this one, it's just straight me.
It's all you.
Yeah, it's all me. Yeah.
So let's talk about the single Gutter.
All right.
Because there's also a music video. You're wearing your Subt merch.
Yeah,
you're a subterranean rapper. I think you said somewhere.
That's right.
Yeah. I have a line.
Yeah.
Half of y'all learned about the culture through the internet.
Right.
Well,
right.
that's cute.
Right. So this song is kind of like a true school anthem. Kind of like, kind of going back to my battle with Jordan J. Where he was kind of just ragging on, the age, right? So this is kind of like my retort to the youth in a way.
Yeah.
That has the harsh criticism for, really focusing on the ageism in hip hop. And it's kind of like, we learned about hip hop by really being in the street and really doing what we had to do. And, some of those guys learned about hip hop by going to youtube.com.
Yeah.
And, it's just not the same. And so the song, The Gutter, is really just talking about just the differences of what it was in my era versus their era. And that's not to say that that's for everybody. That's kind of like a microcosm of what I mean. But like I said, I know that there's definitely, people out there that think, old school is this, and, there should be an age limit on this. And it's like, as long as I'm able to talk and articulate, I'm never going to stop rapping. I'll be 95 talking about, but your pacemakers in there.
Freestyling about pacemakers. I got to take my medication.
Right. You got it.
The nursing home has
Right, exactly.
Because hip hop is just, it's part of you, and it's going to stay with you till
the end.
Till the end. So track number 3, In the Park. It's very nostalgic. There's also some scratching in there.
Yeah.
And then if you talk about what you do in the park, it's just very like
and so just like when hip hop began, it started off in the park, in the parks in the Bronx, and I just kind of wanted to talk about how there used to be the events at the Eagle. Okay, so every year there will be underground hip hop events at the Eagle, and I just kind of wanted to describe what a day in the park for hip hop in Chicago was like.
Yeah.
And then just kind of also give a nod to how hip hop began.
Yeah. So, 4th track, Boom! I love this one because you perform this one.
Yeah.
Still like pretty often.
Yeah.
There's a music video.
Yeah.
And you do a little footwork at the end.
Yeah. So I had to, show people that, I still got a
you
little
still
bit.
got a little something up your sleeve.
Yeah. That one, he just told me, like, show them. It's kind of like Scatterbrain Part 2, really, because, he was like, just show people, how you get down lyrically. And so, I had the lines like, I wish they bit with a coin like cryptocurrency. You know what I mean? Just things that just shows you, like, kind of like how I really think.
Yeah. And then I had like 2 favorite quotes, my favorite quotes. The real hip hop is in the house. And every time you perform it and you say that, I'm like, yeah.
Right.
And then the other line I have is, today I got something to say like Outkast.
Yes. And that's just how I feel, with, when they were at the Source Awards and before the South took over hip hop, Outkast really had to kick down the door.
Yes.
And that's what I feel about Thunderground. We have to, get our name out there, and we have to let them know, like, look, we're here, we got something to say. And so
that's how you kind of correlated those 2.
Yeah.
Frequency, this one's like a little different. It's more for the ladies.
Yeah.
I don't have like a favorite quote. I was just like, okay, we're just gonna leave it at that. It's for the ladies.
Yeah, so it's a vibe. It's a vibe type of joint,
It's a vibe. I ain't talking about it. This one talks about, this one was like really like a lot. Talks about like violence, pills, personal issues, drama, and like how we don't talk about it, or we kind of overlook it to an extent.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a double meaning. Like, I ain't talking about it. It's kind of like, how can I describe it? So I wrote it from an aspect of, you can say out loud what's going on with you, but that doesn't mean you have to keep talking about it.
Yeah.
Just like if I say, man, I'm tired of, let's just say I'm sick of going to the studio, right? The wrong person might be like, well, why is that? So what is it about this? Sometimes you just have to you can say it once and let it go. And sometimes it's easier said than done, but, like I said, the violence of Chi-Town, the this, the that, it's basically saying, you know what, it's okay to say I'm not going to talk about it right now, because you don't want it to overdrive your head. It's not, I'm not saying to ignore the problem, but you don't have to let it overly consume you, basically.
Yeah. I like the line that says, what happened to the word peace?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That was a really big standout line, because I think, especially like in the realm, in the space that we're in, that's definitely something that we forget.
It's like, and that's why, just like how I was saying that, like, life is like a game of chess, and there's so much to get off my chest, and that's kind of just like the basis of the whole song.
Yeah. So then the last one, 7, a story.
Oh yeah.
This one, it's a story about a backpacker named Mike in the streets. But I kind of picked up on like some references. It's not about Mike. This is about you, isn't it?
So there's bits and pieces. So it's a fictional story, but there's parts in there that are definitely me.
Yeah.
Like kindergarten, they start rapping in kindergarten, which I did.
Yeah.
Just little things like that. But like his life got off to the wrong track. But then at the end of the day, hip hop.
Yeah, he like reflected on it, eyes opened up, stopped rapping, and then his career resurrected. So,
right. Yeah.
Came back to it because, hip hop saved his life.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, just, with a lot of rappers in general that, have been in the street, hip hop has been a saving grace, and so I wanted to just kind of create a fictional story that was based off of certain real events and fantasy. But that, people can relate to without it sounding, like a cheesy commercial.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My favorite thing or line from there was never sold his soul.
Right, exactly. And so that's the thing too, in that second verse, I'm just like, the props were abundant, but the excuses were redundant. So it's just like, okay, you're getting all these props, but it's like, when it's time to get paid, it's like, you keep hearing the same thing. Hey, man, you got that exposure, though.
Yeah.
And so then it was just like, okay, first he used to rock the buckets, but now he's ready to bucket, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, first we were talking about, hip hop, but now he's focused on Ziplocs. And so, it's like that mentality switches to where you put your all into something and you really want it to make money for you, but if it's not making money for you and you have responsibilities, you have to do what you got to do, and then sometimes people turn to the street, and so you know, I just wanted to kind of make a song that, you know, if anybody was kind of going through that and they love hip hop, to let them know, like, you know, even though you might not see the light of the tunnel right now, to, you know, not give up.
Yeah. And that's pretty much remote control. But that's not all your music. You still have some other, we've still got other music and videos to talk about. You know, we're not just going to stop there. Amazing Part 2 with Jeff the Illest and Vice Versa.
Oh, yeah.
We have to talk about that.
Well, that's my, man,
it was a black and white video. It's a slow jam. The song also won a Steppers Award.
Yes. So Jeff the Illest, he produced that, and I'm a huge Anita Baker fan, and the song Angel or whatever, I asked him, I was like, can you sample that song? Because I really want to rap over that. And he had already had a beat, ironically. So he sent that to me, and then me and Vice, we wrote to it. And I think what was really cool about the song is that, you know, we were able to make it palpable to, you know, people who want to just enjoy music. But I still have those SamIAm type of patterns in there.
Definitely.
You know, it's not just like, you're so hot, I like you a lot. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's chilling if it listen, and every time I get in next to you, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to, you know, still give them the multisyllabics and the internals that, you know, you all used to. Yeah.
And then the video was the first hip hop video filmed in the Chicago Hip Hop Heritage Museum.
Yes.
That was a mouthful, but I did it.
You did it, you know?
How is it to have that, like, honor? Like, that's crazy.
I think at the time we didn't realize that where we were filming was going to be the Chicago Hip Hop Museum. You know what I'm saying? So, because it was all white when we first came in there. So, you know, we just chilling, and the video was black and white. So I was like, well, that makes this easy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Color contrast, whatever. But when the video came out, we had to go back there for something, I don't know, but came back there and I was like, there's like graffiti and this and that and that. I was like, what happened? I'm like, is this a museum?
Is this the same spot? Am I confused?
Yeah, they're like, you made history. I was like, okay, you know, I was like, I didn't even know, you know, so that was just cool. That was just kind of something that inadvertently, you know, happened, but just happy to, you know, just be a part of history with that. But, you know, that song right there definitely, you know, takes me to a place, and, you know, and I hope people feel we did it justice.
Oh yeah, definitely. It definitely took me to, and it was so different than like some of your other stuff too. That it was, but like different, but still you.
Right. And that's what I want people to know, is that, like, I'm an artist. You know what I'm saying? And I think I know that it's popular for them to say that SamIAm the MC is a freestyler, but, you know, like I was telling you, even in '92, I was making tapes. You know what I mean? And then I started freestyling because I didn't want to like do a whole verse over again. You know what I mean? But my intention from day one was to make songs, you know.
And you did. You're here. You made it. You know. Just because that wasn't like the full path doesn't mean that you didn't get there eventually.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like I tell people, if you you know, playing basketball, the goal is to make 2 points. Now, you don't have to dunk, you know what I mean? But if you do know how to dunk, you know what I mean? And that's like freestyle. Just like dunking is like, you know, the freestyle of hip hop. You know, it's not necessary, but it's emphatic when you do.
Yeah. So Midnight Sun, New Beginnings.
Wow.
Yeah, I find all the things.
Yeah, wow. definitely thorough. Yeah.
Yes, very thorough. I like there's a few relatable lyrics.
Yeah.
My fault for thinking me and you had a bond. Yeah. And then the thought of finding someone like you has me terrified.
Yeah, so with the song, you know, being called Freaking Out, New Beginnings, it's kind of like, you know, when you like somebody and, you know, you're friend zone, but you're worried, like, if you're actually going to find someone like that person, and, you know, you got to get rid of your inhibitions. You know, it's kind of like, you know, I'm kind of freaking out because who I want is you, but, you know, you just want friendship. And so that's why I'm like, well, that's cool. You know, I might as well torture myself this way.
Yes, it is torture. It is definitely torture.
Right.
You also had a mental health song titled I'm Free.
Yes.
What kind of inspired you to like make that one?
And so, just during that era, I was, just losing a lot of my friends. Whether it be from homicide or suicide, and I just felt like it came to a point where I felt like I need to say something without being like very direct, but just something that would be like a general message, like, let's free our minds. And sometimes you're gonna play things back in your head like, man, I wish I could have been there, or, I wish they could have heard me say something that would have put life into them. And so that's why it's really kind of important to try to put life into, people, and so that's what that song is all about, just trying to put life in people.
Yeah. Then you had the Incredibull.
With the Incredibull, like bull, like Chicago Bull, like the Bulls, right. My boy Mike Specs, and we collaborate a whole lot, and that beat, it has like a Griselda kind of vibe, and I just, that was one of those songs where I stay on, kind of like Scatterbrain, if you listen to it close. So I rhyme like one rhyme scheme for like the first 8 bars, and then I rhyme like a whole nother rhyme scheme for the last 8, and I add like little syllables to words. So instead of saying wobbly, I'll say wobbly. This probably, comically, rappers fall off. You look at wobbly, that's the policy. Sam and Mike shine it constantly. So, just that song was like a way of the way I wanted to execute the delivery of the words.
Yeah. Back to hieroglyphics, because we're always going to come back to that. You did Make Your Mind Up tribute.
Yeah.
And then you have the music video where you're wearing the 93 Till shirts. And you did this one outside Subt.
Yep, I did this outside of Subt. Yeah. So, for those who don't know me or don't know, Make Your Mind Up is my favorite hip-hop song of all time. And so what I wanted to do is make a tribute, but make it original. So every single line, I restructured the line, and it sounds just like their lines, but they're different words and different syllables. And it took so long to write.
I can imagine.
This was definitely one of my, one of my prized possessions. And I was happy I was able to, shoot the video. And we got a lot of good feedback. They were able to hear it and everything. So that was crazy. That was crazy. And, they gave me love for that. But yeah, Make Your Mind Up. I wanted it to be the most lyrically precise, hieroglyphic, Souls of Mischief tribute known to man. And I mean, I think just bar for bar, I'll try to accomplish that.
Yeah. The Flow, which was back in 1993 with Charles. Who was this young kid?
Oh, wow.
Who was the kid? Who is that? You?
Oh, man.
I was so confused.
So Charles, here's my classmate. Charles Sales. What up, man? If you see this out there. But yeah, so we during that time we were a rap group called the South Side. And this was from my basement. And that's why we're like talking about like John Paxton, just like, and I'm just like, I had the first verse and he had the second verse, but that was back in the day when you finished the verse and you thought you did really good, you go,
yeah, it was definitely like,
like Melly Mel, that was those days.
Flashback 2020 was like a pandemic rap. You were talking about COVID, police brutality, the economy, unemployment, all the controversial topics.
Right, and so that song was the precursor to Remote Control. You know what I mean? But that one, ironically, there's no song on Remote Control that actually talks about the pandemic. You know what I mean? But that song was actually about the pandemic. And then there was a MC by the name of Chuck, and it's slipping my mind, Chuck West. Yeah, Chuck West. He did a compilation, like a pandemic compilation, and I made a song for that. But that wasn't the song. That was kind of like the warm-up that I did for that song. Right. Okay. And so the song that I ended up doing, it was a drum and bass song for that. So that's what I was talking about, rapping over house and everything. And then after I made those songs, I ended up working on here. So it's kind of like it just all happened.
It all makes sense.
Yeah, it all makes sense. Yeah.
Too Many Rappers with Encyclopedia Brown. There's a music video too.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up 2 lines. Too many rappers, not enough MCs. And killing MCs is on my daily planner.
Yes, yeah. So too many rappers, not enough MCs. We kind of just wanted to let people know out there that, a lot of rappers out here, they're not about the craft. They're not about, the lyricism. And what we're trying to do is too many rappers, not enough MCs, not enough people that can move the crowd, the master of ceremonies, and, killing MCs on my daily planner. So that's kind of like one of my, scatterbrain kind of things.
Yeah.
So, growing up, I had one of those calendars where, you have
the wall.
and you X out the dates.
I still have one.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I'm killing MCs right here. You know what I mean? And so that's how I came up with that.
That's that old school stuff because I still have like a written planner.
Oh, nice.
Things. Like I use my phone.
Like, man, let me stay organized.
Yeah.
Like, how do you stay organized? Like killing MCs, you know? So yeah, just
what MC am I going to kill today? That's how I stay organized.
Exactly. So yeah, that's what's up.
Last one, Mike Commanders with The Surge. Fuck Off.
Yeah, so that song, oh man, Mike Commanders. So The Surge is another MC who I met battling. We met in the final round of a battle, and after I won that battle, he, we reached out and we ended up working together. And we did a lot of songs with a producer by the name of Dream Tech of 7 Nines, and that was one of the songs, Fuck Off. And that beat is produced by Save One and Dream Tech. He shot the video. Okay. We had a whole bunch of people in Wicker Park flipping the bird, And
I saw that. I was like, oh, okay.
And then the song is just bar heavy. But then we just wanted the hook to be fun, and with The Surge, he's he has a nice tongue-in-cheek kind of humor, and then I kind of bring the serious, but I'm still being quirky, that kind of thing. So, so I think we have a nice mixture there, and the video did pretty good too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so now we've touched base on all the music, the freestyles, and all that stuff. But let's talk about Chi-Bap, which stands for Chicago Boom Bap. That's like your merch.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of the merch is Freestyle Off the Top, or Freestyle OTT.
Yes. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, this is amazing. This is amazing, man.
I try my best.
Wow.
What inspired the merch?
So, I was just noticing too that, as an artist, that I was being too focused on being an artist. And, when we're talking about finding different ways to, feed yourself, feed your family, however, it is, a lot of times the artists are doing things outside of raps, because when you think about streaming, you go to DistroKid and it's fractions of a penny.
Yeah.
A penny is 1 cent. And we're talking about fractions of a penny, right? So how are you going to make a living off that, right? So I think Snoop Dogg, he said that he had 1 billion streams and that was worth $45,000.
Yeah. Which is
crazy. So
in hindsight, it doesn't.
Yeah, but then again, if you have but if you're selling stuff like hats and shirts, and these are things that are going to kind of bring something steady, and hopefully you can make some money in your sleep, and then also promote your brand.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so so that's why I came up with Chicago Boom Bap, but I call it Chi-Bap for short, and then with the Freestyle OTT, and have both of those things. So Brad Busby of Ill Nature, he designed those, and everybody go cop that.
Yeah, I want to get like the crop hoodie. That's what I saw it and I was like, ooh, that's my style.
Let me know.
Okay.
I'll repost it if you get it and rock it.
Oh, for sure. Mm-hmm. So speaking of Snoop Dogg, you made a cameo.
Oh yeah.
In the next episode, it was like a 2-second little snippet. You were next to the pole dancer. How did...
Wow.
Yeah, I saw.
Wow. You snapping on this, man.
How was this experience? How did you get on set? And like, obviously, it's not just Snoop. It's so many like other huge names.
Yeah. So my sister Samantha, she had a friend by the name of Shalay, which she's like a sister to me, and she was doing a lot of videos during that time.
Yeah.
And I was out in California. I happened to be out in California when she was like, "Yeah, you want to go to a video shoot with me?" I'm like, "Okay." Like, who? She's like, "Dr. Dre." I'm like, "Dr. Dre, hold on."
You know, of course I want to go.
Yeah. So I was like, "Hell yeah!" And I was actually out there because I was in a family history documentary called "A Place at the Table," which basically represents that our ancestors have gone through all of their struggles, so we can have a place at the table in society today. But on my day off,
wait, was that also the Netflix doc that you were part of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So
I tried to find it on Netflix to watch it. I couldn't find it.
So you could just YouTube "A Place at the Table" documentary, and it should pop up.
But I think I had the wrong name because I was putting "Who Came to Serve," so it might be.
Oh wow, yeah. So "Who Came to Serve"? That was a breakdancing battle. That was hosted by my boy Tech, which that became a documentary, and I think maybe Netflix may have picked it up. I'm not sure, but that's it.
Okay, all right.
But I know that there's something. So you're in the
realm.
You're in the realm, but yeah, that's amazing. A plus. So
yeah,
you know.
Okay, back to the music.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. So with Snoop Dogg, like I said, I was in Cali. And so Shalay, she hit me up and she was like, "Man, you know, I had the opportunity for you to be in this video. You know, you want to be an extra?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah!" So you know, I go over there and it turns out to be the next episode, and I'm just like, "Wow, this is amazing!" And you know, I had pictures with all of them, and you know, all the young ladies in the video as well, and. You know, it's just an amazing experience, and that video has like 1 billion views. You know what I mean? And, and you can clearly see me like at least once. You know,
I watched it. Twice. You're in there twice. I'm in there
twice. Yeah,
I couldn't find the second time.
Because the second time you just see my arm. It's like I'm like, yo.
Okay, that's why
I'm like, that's my arm. That's my arm right there.
I only saw the first time where I could see your face.
Yeah, the first time I'm like this, you know what I'm saying? I'm right by the lady with the stripper pole. Bro.
Yeah.
And it's hard because when they edit, like, just because you're all in the camera doesn't mean you're going to make the final edit.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was that dude, like, kind of being, like, real sneaky. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. You were trying to, like...
I'm just like, you know what I mean? If the camera moved this way, I'm like, I'm going to get my ass in this video, man.
And you did. You got your 2 seconds in there. Okay.
Yeah. I got my full face and up to here, and then I got my arm.
I'm going to have to go back and look for the arm.
I'm going to show you. That's you know, it's my arm.
Because I definitely got the screenshot of you, but I need to go find the arm. I couldn't figure that one out.
Like that SamIAm's arm right there.
Yeah.
Which, on that one thing, too, is like, that's probably one of my biggest regrets in my career is that I was right there with Dr. Dre and I didn't rap for him. Like, it didn't even isn't that crazy? Like, what? No, I was around him.
You
Warren
dropped
G.
the ball.
Yeah.
Everybody, like, that one is like such a star-studded, like, and such a classic.
But you know, it was kind of like, you know, I was brought there to do a job, and you know, but no, I probably should have done it. Like, maybe I
found the opportunity to be like, hey, by the way,
yeah, it's crazy.
So, you don't really still talk to Snoop Dogg?
Yeah, man.
Because
Snoop, hit me up, bro.
Because I'm trying to get a 19 Crime sponsorship.
You know what I'm saying? Snoop, where you at, bro?
Where you at? Because
Snoop, it was me, the one with the arm, man.
Exactly.
It was
and
me, bro.
He's the homie, so give me my sponsorship.
What's up, man?
Because I'm obsessed with that wine. I'm actually going to probably put it in like a booking writer. Like.
Right, let's make this happen.
Let's do it.
Come on,
let's connect the dots.
Come on, man.
One more notable is you're the West Wing Entertainment's Battle of the MCs champion, and you have like the like a trophy and everything.
Yeah. So it's like a little miniature trophy.
And that's the only like physical trophy that you have, I believe.
So I have a few now. But
okay, that time.
So with West Wing, and shouts out to Hector, I won that battle in Chicago, and then he also had a big rap battle in Phoenix, and I went out to Phoenix and freestyle battled out there, and I won that. But this time I won like a big wrestling belt kind of thing.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So I still have that in my possession. So that's pretty cool, you know. But yeah, I mean, at this point in my career, I've won a few different freestyle trophies and the belt.
All right. Because when I saw the post, I think it was like you were like, "Oh, this is the only piece of hardware I have."
Yeah, that was the first. That was the very first one.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's crazy because I had won hundreds of battles.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But you know, a lot of stuff that happened during. I hate to say this, but like, you know, during my era was not recorded. You know what I mean? It was kind of like, and if it was like some dude with like this VHS like thing, looking like a boombox. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't gonna give you the tape. Like you can forget that. Yeah. So now just having a camera on your phone, like you know, now
there's definitely some videos that I saw that they were so bad and so grainy that I was like, I don't know if I can sit here and watch this, but I'm going to because I have to, like, for research purposes.
right. Yeah, exactly. Word.
So before we leave, I want to talk about something you said in December of 2022. Hip hop is no longer a young man's game. Yeah. Hip hop is a thinking man's game. So can you kind of talk about how the space has evolved and like how the numbers aren't everything? We kind of touch base on that a little bit, but
yeah, absolutely. When you really look at the power players in hip hop, they're all the older cats, you know, from Jay-Z to Common to Kanye. You know, there's a lot of younger cats doing their thing, but when you think about like the biggest rappers, they're the Jay-Z's. I mean, they're older, and then when I say it's a thinking man's game, as far as the type of hip hop that I am into, you know, it's more so about emceeing for me, and not just you know, ABC 1, 2, 3. So when you think about that, and like I said, the whole ageism thing, I think that we really need to change that dynamic and kind of recalibrate, you know, how we feel about that, because at the end of the day, it's not about how old you are. It's about, can you articulate, you know, how you feel and make it rhyme or not rhyme. But you know, can you still make it accessible to the people to digest and hopefully want to hear more of? And so that takes brain capacity or some form of brain capacity. And you know, and you never want to have age limit you. I mean, when I was 5, you know, I mean, could I see myself doing this, you know, a million years later? You know, I couldn't see that, but I just knew even at that time, you know, you want to put, you know, some type of effort into what you do. So, man, I think that's just with anything that you want to do. You want to, you know, put some thought into it. Yeah.
So we've made it to the end. I think I've covered everything.
Yeah, that was amazing. I was like, wow.
So, you know, you came prepared, I think. That all my people got to spit a freestyle at the end, and you are like the greatest freestyler like ever. And at least in Chicago, we're just gonna say Chicago, not to like be too bright.
Shout out Juice, man. You know? So, I know some of you purists out there like, wait a minute. You know?
We're not gonna go too far, but do I get a legendary freestyle?
Yo, I gotta show you something that's legendary. A real freestyle off the top is necessary. You understand that I'm just spitting the raw, cause off the top, something that wasn't written before. But now I gotta say some subtle stuff. I didn't get a chance to drink in my purple cup, but that's okay. After that, you know I'm gonna need work. I really appreciate you doing the research. I'm like, hey, you're battling and I'm never in fear. You made me feel like I had a hella long career. I'm like, yo, that's pretty cool. SamIAm been kicking it, writing rhymes since middle school. Hey, you know that we going way back, and I'm never phony smiling. From Stony Island, I got the grimy words. Thanks for having me. SamIAm, don't battle me. I got strategies. I'm out, y'all.
Yay! All I got is yay. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on Melly's Couch. Never thought I would have a freaking legend on the couch, especially someone I grew up watching. Insane. So where can everybody follow you? I think it's
so you
SamIAm.
SamIAm the MC. That's SamIAM THEMC, and that's on Instagram and Twitter. On Facebook is Sam the MC. So it's SamTheMCee. So and
then Thunderground Records as well. You guys got to follow that, check that out.
Yes,
there's going to be a lot more shows and things coming.
Yes, indeed.
And then I thank you for.
Look at that, yo! Thank you. That's what's up. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
So remember to follow SamIAm Follow me, Melly Starz. Follow The Lot. My official sponsor. Could not do this without them. They are so gracious. Also, my videographer who I have in studio right now, Spaceflight Media. Follow their page.
Spaceflight? What up?
And until next time, because again, you never know who's gonna pull up to the couch.
Yeah.